Hello and welcome back. As you can probably tell almost immediately, I've made some mistakes here. Not only have I not been on for 6 months, but this is having to be recorded via voiceover because I've forgotten how to record things. In fact, the very first couple of clips that I have here, my voice sounds so tinny. So the first few minutes is just going to be like this, me kind of explaining over what I've done here. Now, if you notice, I'm a little bit different than I was before. And the reason is just that I'm bad at this game. So let's take a look and see what I did to basically lose everything that I had and waste hours of my life. Now, not that you really need a play-by-play, but you're getting it anyways. So this is, of course, how I died. Creeper, your typical explosion. I get all the way back. Get all of my things. And this is where I start doing some really stupid stuff. Right, I get most of the stuff. You know, I make sure I have everything on. Then I come running back. Before I'm even fully healed. And then, if you'll notice, instead of running from this creeper, I jump into him. It's probably the dumbest way I've ever been blown up. And of course, there were two creepers. So, during that process, I also lost everything. It's a wonderful time. Of course, my dying there was both a blessing and a curse, but it made me realize just how terrible my whole setup here is. I had to run to 3 or 4 places just to get all of my things here. It was really just wasting a ton of time. Of course, now I am all upgraded. As you can see, I did get everything that I needed from my helmets, chest plate, all of that. Took me way too long to do. Hopefully next time, because I'm sure there's going to be a next time, it won't take quite as long. So I think right now what I need to do is finish connecting everything here to where it needs to go. Either in the storage room or with the villagers, and that's really going to start here with the iron farm. And I want the iron farm to go directly to the next level here. It's definitely going to take a lot of time to do what I need to do, but in the long run, this is going to make my life just so much easier and everything so much faster, because this isn't just a short-term world. Hopefully, I can make this world last even longer and do more and more. And it's going to free up a lot of area in this area, in my storage room, because a lot of this can actually be moved to where the villagers are currently. Now I'm going to have to figure out what to do with the space left here. This might end up all getting torn down, but I think this is going to be a good start. Well, it seems I have gotten just a bit distracted with the work that I'm doing. You'll see, this is all, I mean, it's all to make things look and feel a lot better. But it's kind of going to take me a long time to catch up on all of the chores that I just never really did before. This is something that it's my own fault. Had I had this set up well in advance, I wouldn't have to be doing any of this. Yet here I am. Just transporting carrots. And eventually I'm going to have to transport them again. But the hope is that eventually this guy, and I'll probably put 3 or 4 more up here, will put them in their appropriate chests. And then these chests later on, I'm actually going to lock them so that it only keeps one, or maybe one stack in. I'm not 100% sure how it works exactly. I'll have to figure that out. But we need to make sure that it's got at least one in there so that this guy knows where to put it. And then if I can do that, then once he puts it in the chest, I can have it automatically transported to the section that it needs to go. But in the meantime, I've got to get everything over there. slowly but surely. And the answer I found is just to do this. And then go over here and bring them all down. It's a slow and tedious process, but it does work, and I think I might end up losing some of the stuff, but honestly, that's what farms are for. I do need to figure out how to make it to where it doesn't give me bread, instead gives me wheat. But, you know, one thing at a time, I suppose. Really, the issue with what I have been doing is, I think I had mentioned it before, I've been having to go to 4 different places. Like, for example, these golden carrots, I have to go to my villager breeder, to even get the carrots. And in reality, that's not what I want to do. I want to be able to just go to where my villagers are and get it figured out that way. Of course, this is also going to take time. Maybe in the short term, it was better the way I was doing it before, but this isn't a short-term world. This is going to be long-term. I need to have everything readily available so that I can make bigger projects, make things look just a little bit better. Now, I did get everything brought over, so now what I need to do is figure out how to keep one item, just one item, in the chest. Well, it's not exactly pretty, but after spending quite a bit of time off camera just fixing this whole mess, I think I've got something functional that I don't have to run around and search for things. So let's just take a look at all of the water streams that I've made, and we'll see where where I didn't do very well, which is just over there. See, from here, of course, this is the stream from this farm right here. I had an issue with there being a bunch of bread, which I am eating right now, all in my food system here. So I decided I would just put a bunch of these hoppers directly below the tilled dirt, and that should theoretically work just fine. And I believe it actually has worked just fine. But before we check that, we'll jump on over to here. Here, of course, it looks like this is a good time to test this, actually. You can see the sugarcane dropping down into just a little circle here. Now, this is just overflow. There is a little bit of waste, but really it's just fine. And while we're here, we can check on the wheat. There is a fair bit of wheat, so it is working out just fine. Originally, this was all actually going to be this little guy down here. There were several of them. See if I can find him. There he is. There were a few of them that I made up there because I wanted them to, you know, take and sort it all for me. But I came to the realization that I was being really stupid. In fact, all I needed was just a few item filters right here. And then from those item filters, I could chain them down. Honestly, I probably didn't need to use all of these hoppers, but I went ahead and did. Chain them down to where they need to go. This one ends up going over here and filling up this side. So you've got carrots. And then this one, actually it seems like the carrots need to fix that. This one does the same thing, but with potatoes, which the potatoes are completely full, which means I am wasting a bit. So let's go ahead and get this fixed just a little bit. And as always, this is going to go all the way across. There we go. All right, so if we jump on down here, I believe it's going to be this guy. Yes. So from here, it basically is just going one after another into here, slowly filling up all of these. And I just need to keep adding the water, basically. Water, ice, all the way. And this one's going to come down, and they will end up meeting in the middle here somewhere. Of course, I'm going to have to get villagers up here, and I've made that a royal pain for myself, but I think it should work out just fine. Now that I've spent an awful amount of time doing that, I think it's time to start actually working on what I left off on last time. And that is, as soon as I can buy some carrots, eventually I'll be able to buy some carrots. That's going to be finishing the forest, or at least getting it a lot closer to finished than I currently am. And I think this is really just going to be a good way for me to get back into the groove of things and have something to show for 6 months of doing absolutely nothing. So let's go ahead and, once I get some more golden carrots, let's go ahead and work on that a little bit more. So let's head on back and see exactly what needs to be done here. It looks like a fair bit has to be done. So I think I need to finish up cleaning off all of these leaves. I think we're going to keep these the same height. We're probably going to have to add one more tree there. And I believe once we get done with this, well, let's take a look down. Once we get done with this, ooh, yes, I would like one more here, one more there, one more there. I do have it set up to be done, it seems. And I think after we get done with all of that, this is a pretty well done area. Ooh, I left this open. So there are some details that need to be done yet. But I believe as we get all of this done, and this really is still a lot of work, I'm realizing, I think it's going to work out quite well. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Now, I originally was going to have a time lapse doing all of those trees, but I'm an idiot, as always, and didn't even turn the thing on. So instead, we get just one tree and a little bit of housekeeping, basically. Now, if you'll notice, perhaps the astute eyes there, you'll see that the middle has a little house. So if you'll give me just a second, I'll explain all of that away. I'm not completely done, of course, but I don't think I'll ever be completely done, to be frank with you. So let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what we've got going on here. Of course, a lot of this remains the same. These trees right here, this one and this one, kind of block the view out. So I think this is where I'm going to stop there. I think I'm going to take that out. I'm not going to have another tree there. And I need to finish up this tree as well that I just noticed. But as you can see, we've got a lot done. I need to add a roof to this yet. This is just a little outdoor area. And I think right now is when I'm going to start adding some water to this little area right here. So this needs to have just a flat, perhaps slightly inclined roof going down to here, and it's just an opening into this area right here. Now we're going to come back to that, but I think we're almost completely finished with the ones that I'm going to be doing in the near future. I'm just doing a few more, I think here. I think I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to get this one done, this one done, this one done. And I believe that's it. Maybe even just that small one right there. I think I don't want it to go any farther out for now. I definitely will do it later on. But this is just kind of where I want it to stay. Now, keep in mind, I still need to add some things, but I thought I would show you the interior here. I need to add another bed. Ooh, I think I don't have any more. I need to add in another shelf. I think right here. It'll look a little bit strange, but I think this is better than it being out like this. Perhaps I can even just do something like this. Yeah, maybe that'll work just fine. And then this and this, make it wrap around. I'm going to need some glass here, but really this is the finished product. It's just kind of a little place for me to stage things, a place for me to sleep, a place that I don't have to worry about mobs. And then of course I'm going to need a sink right here. It's not perfect, but for a little shack in the woods, I don't think it's bad. But I don't want to completely finish this all in one go. Instead, I'd like to start looking at what we have over here. Once again, it's been 6 months since I've been over here. I do remember building this path. In fact, I think this was the very last thing that I did. This all needs to be lit up. Ah, yes. And then here is the little bridge. That's right. Okay. If I'm remembering correctly, I'm planning... I didn't remember. Had I decided whether or not to go straight through here, just curve it up and make it a road? That might be the best option, actually. I think I might have been leaning towards the other way before, but if I do that, then I think it's going to be easier to tie it into the second part of my area. This looks atrocious. This is not good. I think everybody who's watched this can agree with that. It just does not look very good. So this is going to be torn down eventually. Maybe I make this a castle. But I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with this. But for now, I think it's just a matter of blending this in, building a path, and then building all of these buildings. Let's take a quick look over here as well, because I think I had something in mind here. Oh, I don't even... I don't remember what the passcode is, so I better not do that. That's right. And then of course, here's this. Yeah, I don't remember at all what I was doing here. But we're going to figure it out, and we will get there. But in the meantime, I don't think this is where I'm going to start next. I believe, as I had mentioned before, the start is going to be just over here. Ooh, these most recent trees that I've built look a little bit different. Actually, maybe that's because I have one of those there. I might actually like that. That's another thing I'm going to need to do. I need to do the lighting here. There's a lot to do. And I haven't been on for a very long time, but I think this is just about all that I have time to do for this episode. Just as a recap, we've actually done a fair bit. We built 4 or 5 trees. We messed with the industrial zone. We got completely kitted up again. Next, I really do think is just focusing on this area here. And I think we can really make it alive, especially considering the golems that we have now. I think we can do a little bit of redstone magic to make it look as if these golems are the residents, perhaps. Maybe even this is where they came from. But as I said, I believe that's all that we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, subscribed. If you didn't, let me know what I can do better in the comments below. And I will see you again next time. Bye.